Hello friends and family, welcome back to my channel. This is Living with Purpose, Rosena's story. So we started chemo. How was it? What was it like? What was the process? I'll explain all of that in this video. So the day of I got to the facility, it was just myself and my husband. And the way MD Anderson have it scheduled is you'll get some baseline vitals. First of all, you are giving two options. You can do chemo treatment through your veins, or you can get a port. In my case, I did get a port, and it's right here. It's right here in my first day of treatment. First thing you do when you get to the building, when you get to the treatment center, you get your blood drawn. And for me, they gave me the option to draw the blood from my port, but I wanted the port to remain solely for treatment. Before you can start treatment, there are guidelines the nurses have to follow, and your numbers have to be within a perimeter. They look at closely your white blood cells, WBC. They look at your red blood cells. They look at how your kidneys are functioning, your thyroids. They look at everything to begin with. So that's what you start with, and that's considered your baseline. And before you can start treatment, there's a perimeter the nurses have to follow. If at any time of treatment your numbers drop below that perimeter, you cannot continue treatment. Especially your white blood cells. The white blood cell is what help you fight infection. So if it's too low, then now you are prone to get an infection easily, and it will be hard for you to recover. So that's why they have to follow a perimeter. So prior to even getting to the hospital, I was prescribed lidocaine cream. I put it on my port. So I kind of put it on this section here. So your port is from here and it goes all the way up to this area here. Okay, I put the lidocaine on this area and I cover it with a clear film to keep the lidocaine cream on it. And what it does is it numbs the area, so that way when you go for treatment, when they insert the needle, you won't be in pain, because it is painful. But you also have the option when you get there to have a numbing spray. So they give you a time frame of about 30 minutes for the blood work results to come through, and usually you will get it through your phone, and you go on your my chart for whichever facility you're in. For me, it is MD Anderson. I can see all my blood work results. Okay, and then you go to the treatment floor. When you get to the treatment floor, you check in, and your tech comes and they get you. You go in there. Their protocol is different from when you start chemo to when you've been going through chemo. The first chemo is very important for them to follow everything the way it's supposed to be. So once they get all your vitals, they take you into the treatment room. They have to monitor your blood pressure. I think every 15 minutes or so, it has to automatically read you the blood pressure. And of course, they offer you any snacks, any beverages you want, and you prepare. Then your nurse come in, and the nurse explain the procedure to you. They tell you, this is what we're gonna do. This is what I'm giving you. And because it was the first treatment, I had to watch a video of everything being explained to me, how they access the port and all that. After watching the video, the nurse went and got prepared to access the port. And when they access the port, it's considered a sterile procedure. Let me tell you, I was ready to start chemo, but at the same time, my mind was all over the place. Anxiety, I was sweating, I was so nervous, because you look at all those drugs and you've been reading so much. And please try your best not to read so much, especially on Google. Don't do it. Not everything on Google is accurate. And for me, I learned the hard way because I started Googling everything and searching. Don't do it. Please don't do it. It's best to just question your medical professionals, your nurses, your doctors, or whatnot. You are giving pre-meds. So for that type of chemo, I was giving steroids, Zofran, which is an anti-nausea medication. And so you're giving the pre-meds one by one. They flush it one by one. Then they verify the chemo drugs with you and the person that you're with. Then they have to call another nurse to come and do a second check. And what is a second check? They just check your name, your date of birth, and they verify to make sure there is blood return in your port and they have the right connection, all the filters are in for all the tubes, and they verify that and compare it with your armband and the computer. And then they show you the dosage and they tell you how long the chemo will take. Pre-meds take about almost 2 hours. Each of them have to be given at a certain time, maybe 30 minutes each. And then they have to flush for 10 minutes. That's why you're in the facility for so much longer, for 5 to 6 hours. So we do the verification, the second nurse verification, then now you can start your treatment. So how does it work? Once they connect the treatment, because it was my first time starting treatment, the nurse had to remain in the room with me for about 15 to 30 minutes. She could not leave that room. Simply because a lot of people react to the medication. So for safety purposes, the nurses have to stay, and the reaction could be severe. For me, when they started the treatment, I just prayed, let this be the blood of Jesus Christ going through me. I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to cry. I just want this process to go smooth. I don't want reaction. When the treatment started going through my body, you feel this hot heat. It was like you feel it from head to toe. My whole body, I feel like my whole blood was burning hot. It was the strangest thing, the strangest feeling. And I just remember sitting on that chair praying. I said, Lord, please do not let my body reject this medication. I need to attack this tumor. I need to attack this cancer. And Lord, please let this work. I kept praying. And eventually the feeling of that heat sensation or that heat flush that I was feeling, it went away slowly. And every 2 minutes, the nurse kept asking me, are you okay? How are you feeling? And the blood pressure machine kept going on. She kept on checking my pulse. Medications were given one by one. That's pretty much how it went. I was in the facility for about 5.5 hours to 6 hours. My husband was there with me the whole time. After the treatment was done, we were told, you know, you're good, you're done. Just remember to stay hydrated. So you want to keep flushing. You want to stay hydrated to get rid of the toxic drug, right? So when I got home, thankfully I felt okay. I do want to say that the nausea was real. Keep up with the nausea medicine. I couldn't smell. The moment I would smell something, maybe someone is cooking in the kitchen, I wanted to vomit. My husband made some soup for me and I drank a little bit of it, but in the middle of the night I woke up and I was so nauseous I could not sleep. And the reason why is because I waited for too long to take it. So the next day I woke up feeling weak, but I managed to do my daily walks. I used to be involved in, I used to go to the gym, was walking about 6 miles a day. So I was grateful because even throughout my treatment, I managed to walk on a daily basis. And my husband was there with me. So I always had to have someone with me every time I go walking, because you will feel very weak and dizzy and lightheaded. Next day, I went to walk in the morning for about 3 miles, and evening I walk another 3 miles. So the first day was a success. Thank God for that. I'm very thankful. I will give you an update on how the next treatment went, and I also will let you know some of the other side effects that I experienced after some time doing the treatment process. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for helping me share my story by hitting that like button and subscribing. Remember, enjoy the little things. I will see you on the next video. Bye.